The process for getting these things out is kind of a weird one. If you guys saw the last video, then you would know that the fabricator completely messed up the 240SX. So today we have work in order to repair his mistake. Here's my practice weld before we actually do it, and I'm happy with this weld. If I can produce that on the car, I'm gonna go with that. That works for me. So we can go on ahead and get to actually working on it. So the welds are all done, the cutting's all done, everything is completely done. I went ahead and mounted it, it mounts up fine. I am not trying to claim that I am professional at this or that it is even professional work or that it looks pretty. But what I'm saying is the welds are pretty strong. By what I know, they're wide, all that kind of stuff. They just don't look the prettiest because I had to do so many welds in so many different spots, and I'm not a fabricator, so it doesn't look amazing. But everything lines up the way it should down there. It's not beautiful, but it works just fine. All right, everybody, so it is time to go in and work on the 240. And yes, since you guys last saw me on this video, I did lose my voice, so if it sounds a little weird, that's why. But don't worry about that. We're gonna tear apart the entire rear suspension. The goal today is to go on ahead and figure out exactly what we need to order for the car. Little suspension parts here and there we're gonna have to replace, like the hubs and all that kind of stuff. And then other things need to be painted. The brake calipers need to be painted. The subframe needs to be painted. The knuckle needs to be painted. Pretty much everything needs to be painted. And then, will you shut up? Look at that bird. He is so loud. Please, shut up. Also, I have some bushings for it. These subframes, where they mount to the actual car, we're gonna pull the whole subframe out. And where it mounts to the actual car, there's like rubber bushings that go into there. And so I need to go in and change those out. First step, we're gonna jack up the car, get the wheels and tires off, and then just start tearing into it. It's gonna be fun, and Ralph is here. So it's a good thing that we have come under here and are going to be replacing almost everything, because look at these arms right here. All the threads are super rusted out. This thing doesn't, these interior bearings don't even move. I mean, just everything's rusted, and that goes for all three of them. As you guys can see, they're just really bad. The lower control arms, we're just going to need to shave those down and repaint them and then replace the bushings and bearings and all that stuff. But look at these subframe. This is the subframe. So this can be removed, and it will be removed in this video. But if you look in here, in the subframe bushings that are made of rubber, I mean, they're like completely gone. So yeah, that good thing we're replacing those. We have a set of polyurethane ones that we're replacing the rubber ones with, so that'll be cool. And so yeah, we're pretty much done with this side. We just need to take off the other side and then the interior diff. And you guys can see this back subframe is rusted, so we're gonna shave down all that rust, and we'll paint and redo it. And there's a ground here. It used to be connected to something, but isn't connected to anything right now. That's a little weird. That is definitely a welded diff. Real quick, guys, I want to explain the situation on this diff. This is a welded diff. And welded diffs cause tire chirp, and they cause weird tire wear, and they're not great for parking. They're kind of loud with the tires and all that kind of stuff. So we are not going to be doing this diff. Although welded diffs are great for drifting and burnouts and tracking and things like that, they are not great for a daily driving car that wants to look and feel like a really good build. So we're going to be trashing this diff and going with a stock one. Now you may think, well, that will only do like one wheel burnouts, and that'll only that won't be great for drifting and all that. That is because the plan is eventually to go to a limited slip differential, also known as a two-way differential. But for the meantime, in order to save money with the whole budget of the build, we're going to go ahead and put a stock diff in there whenever it comes in the mail, and then an LSD later. But we're going to go ahead and sell this welded diff. If you guys want it, it's for sale. Comment below. The process for getting these things out is kind of a weird one. Okay, so they are almost done. This one's the most done, as you guys can see. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these burn out, and then I'm going to move this, pressure wash the driveway, get all the burn stains out of it, and then move on to painting and stuff. Well, that took forever, but all four are out. So right now I'm getting this ready for paint, and I'm not trying to get it perfectly down to bare metal or anything. I'm just trying to get the big bulk of the rust off. So this is obviously what it looks like. Very rusty, as you guys can see, and this is more what I'm trying to get it to. Not saying this is a finished product here, but I'm just saying like all the big rust spots are gone. Now there's like down here and down here I haven't touched yet. You guys can see these metal lips, they're a little rusty, but they're not big bunches of rust. So, you know, obviously I'm going to clean this up more. This isn't finished product, but we're just getting it ready to put a can of Rust-Oleum on it, and then it'll look a lot better. I got off a lot of the big bulky rust. I didn't take off anything that was just colorized rust. Like if you look deep in there, there's some rust that's really just color, and I left on a lot of the paint that was hard to get off because, you know, it's factory paint, so it's going to last a while. There's a lot of rust that I just simply can't get to because I'm using angle grinders. I don't have a sandblaster. This really needs to be sandblasted, but you know, I think it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and paint it. These are apparently not the easiest to get in, so we're going to spray them down with WD-40, and then hopefully we'll be able to get them in a lot better because of that. And also, we're going to spray the cavities on the subframe that these go into once it is dry. Well, that was easy. Alright guys, well I'm pretty happy with how the subframe has come out. I have two of the full bushings in. You guys can see those are in, no problems there. And then these bottom two, I could not get the black rubber part in to save my life, and so I ended up grinding it down, and that was the only way to get it in. But I can't get these metal bearing parts in. They literally slid in with a few hammer hits just fine on those, but these two, I cannot get them to hammer in. The problem is it's about to storm. I don't think the camera's gonna pick up the clouds. Guys, it is ramping up to storm, and this happens in Florida, just random storms, just completely unknown. I mean, it's not that dark of clouds, but it is gonna storm tonight, so I need to go ahead and get this out of the way because it could start storming any second. Also, I'm filthy and need a shower. I think we got a lot done in this video though. We redid the subframe, we took off all that old suspension, figured out what we need to order, and a few other things here and there, so I'd say it's a pretty successful video. But with that being said, thanks for stopping the channel. Go and subscribe, hit the notification bell, browse the rest of the videos. I gotta get all this stuff inside because of the storm, so I'm out.